Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope your day's off to a fantastic start. Let's do another in-depth sunscreen review. If you are new or newer to my channel, hi, how are you? Welcome. I am 44 years old and I have very oily skin. And what that means for me is that it can be difficult to find SPFs that work for my skin type. While I do think there are benefits to having oily skin, I also think it can be obnoxious, right? Like finding products that stay put, especially SPFs on an oily skin, can be kind of difficult. Also, I find that a lot of SPFs are very shiny, and as someone who just naturally has a shine to their skin because of my oil production, I'm not that into it. I prefer a much more matte or demi-matte look to the skin. I'm not big on a real dewy look. That to me just screams greasy face. I admire that look on other people because I think other people it looks quite healthy. On me, I just think it looks like I am overproducing oil, which I absolutely hate. So any SPF that I test has to be able to stand up to my oil production. I try to, for the most part, stick with SPF 30 or above. I'm a big proponent of using SPF, also of seeing a dermatologist regularly. I am someone who grew up in the 90s laying on trampolines, yeah. Laying on trampolines covered in baby oil to get the most tan that I could. And then also in my later teens and early 20s, I was also that girl that regularly visited tanning beds. So I also have a genetic predisposition to melanoma. My biological father actually had melanoma twice. As far as I know, he's still alive. I don't have contact with my biological dad, but I do hear things about him periodically. So my dermatologist did inform me that because he has had melanoma, there is a potential genetic predisposition for me getting it at some point as well. So see a dermatologist. I think it's good to get both a baseline scan for all the moles and whatever else is on your body, but also making sure that you go back at least on a yearly basis. If not every couple years, just to be rechecked, I think is very important. It is something that I will stress in every single sunscreen review video on my channel because I think it's very important to be cognizant of changes in your skin. Melanoma can certainly seem like it appears very quickly, but a lot of times you might notice a change in a mole over a period of time, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that really doesn't look right at all. If you start to notice things changing, address the problem as soon as possible. Melanoma is both one of the deadliest skin cancers or cancer period that you can get, but if it is caught early, it's extremely treatable and you can survive. The survival rate when caught early is fantastic. Caught late, not great. So please make sure that you are protecting your skin, whether it is the middle of summer, the middle of December, or March 13th. It doesn't matter. You need to wear SPF year round. So all that being said, what sunscreen are we reviewing today? We are talking about a Korean sunscreen, and this is the Heimish Tone Up Sunscreen Bulgarian Rose Tinted Tone Up. Bear with me, there's still more. UVA, UVB protection, SPF 50 plus, PA++++. We have 3 pluses. So this particular SPF is one that I have actually been using on and off for several months. I really like this SPF. I do believe it is one that is geared towards combination and oily skin. So I can tell you right off the bat that it is quite a good fit with my oily skin. But I don't think this sunscreen is for everybody, and I will get into why that is here in a little bit. Before we kind of get into my experience, I do want to read you guys the claims, talk a little bit about the ingredients, and then I will share my thoughts and who I think this would be good for and who I think should skip this particular one. Okay, so I will say this is the grammar on here is just, it could use a little help, but we're gonna trudge through it. This is actually from the Heimish website. So all-in-one rosy tone-up sunscreen combined with UV protection and tone-up cream! Exclamation point. They're really excited about it. A light-weighted lotion-type sun fluid that adheres thinly to the skin and brightens up dull skin without feeling stuffy. Fluid sun milk texture adheres to skin thinly and applies without stickiness and inner dryness. Finish off with healthy skin expression with natural glow. So basically, they say that this is for oily and combination skin types. So right here, the healthy pink tone up without white casts. So basically what they're saying here is that this is not going to give like a flashback when you're taking pictures. I will say there is definitely a little bit of a cast to the skin, like a pink whiteness. We'll get into that here in a second. Can be used lightly without feeling heavy or stuffy. So I think what they're trying to explain here is that this is a very lightweight lotion texture type SPF that gives you good protection. So let's read through some of these ingredients here. I have those pulled up as well. So in terms of just some good for you like skincare ingredients that are in this formulation, there is niacinamide, which I absolutely love. If you deal with enlarged pores, you really should start incorporating niacinamide. There is olive fruit oil in here. There is tocopherol. There is ascorbic acid, adenosine. There is also lactobionic acid in here. So we've got some exfoliators in this formula as well. Some malic acid as well as some tartaric acid. There is also ascorbic acid in here. I think I already mentioned ascorbic acid. There's glycerin, which is, it gives a nice glide to this product, I think. And the types of SPF that you are getting in here. So you are getting both a chemical and a mineral sunscreen. The first is Ethylhexyl Methoxycinnamate. I believe that this is actually Octinoxate. I think I'm saying that right. I believe that that's Octinoxate. There's zinc oxide in this formulation. And then there is also, oh, I'm really going to butcher this one. I don't know if there's another name for this one. Phenylbenzimidazole sulfonic acid. I'm sure I butchered the names of those. I will be putting some kind of, I don't know, ticker thing down here with the with the spelling of this. So you're getting 3 different types of sunscreens here, with one of my favorite being included, which is zinc oxide. I do think that for me, zinc oxide has been the very best in terms of being a fit with my oily skin. So if you have only ever used chemical sunscreens like avobenzone, octinoxate, those, maybe try a zinc oxide. I do think that those, that particular ingredient just seems to hold up the best. So the fact that it's in here is fantastic. Let's discuss the tone of this particular sunscreen. So I'm going to put it on my hand. So this is my hand before here. You do want to shake this formula. And I will say it is a very thin texture. So you can see it running there. You see that light pink tone? It's almost like a super light blushy pink. So I'm gonna show you guys the spread of this. So it spreads really, really nicely. Just gonna keep rubbing that in. In terms of texture, it has a really nice feel to it. It doesn't feel silicone-y. It does not feel heavy. It feels very smooth. And none of the skincare that I have applied in the morning has interacted badly with this. Like there was no pilling up or anything like that. I will be doing an updated summer morning and evening skincare routine. I think that is supposed to go up next week at some point, so definitely stay tuned for that. But let me show you guys the finish on my skin. I'm wearing it today, but I'm obviously wearing makeup over top. I cannot wear this SPF without at least putting some powder foundation over top. And the reason is that, do you see how pale this hand looks compared to this one? This tone up feature of this sunscreen, I think, is fantastic for those of us who have porcelain, fair, light, maybe light medium skin tones. If you are medium or above, I think you're really going to struggle with the tone of this particular SPF. It's almost hard for me to color correct with my powder foundation. Please don't ask me how this sits under liquid foundation. I don't ever wear liquid foundation. I refuse. I think it feels gross on my skin, so I don't do it. But I can tell you it pairs really well with my favorite. I use the Laura Geller Balance in Brighton. My shade is fair, so I'm not porcelain, but I'm definitely pretty light. I think you guys can see that I'm usually pretty pasty. I definitely rely heavily on SPF. So you can see that it definitely lightens up the overall tone of my skin quite a bit. This is very yellow compared to the pinky undertone that I have now. So covering this up with SPF is kind of a must for me. Otherwise, I do look kind of pale and ghostly, I'm not gonna lie. So if you are medium or above in terms of skin tone, I think you can skip this. You can very safely skip this. I would gear you towards something else. So for example, this one here from MD Solar Sciences, this is their SPF 50. This one's also really lightweight. And this one has a little bit of like a tone to it, but it's not quite as like pasty white as this one. So I'm just gonna put that over on this hand just so that we have a comparison. So you can see this one, even though it has a little bit of a tint, it does not change the overall like undertone of my skin, whereas the Heimish does. So if you are medium or above and you're looking for an SPF 50 that works great for oily skin, this is a good option for you. So I'm gonna steer you towards that direction. But overall, I actually quite like this in terms of the protection that it provides. When I am actively outside working in the yard, I make sure to use an SPF of 50 when we are like taking the dogs to the park, when I am heading out and doing grocery shopping, and I know I'm gonna be outside for longer periods of time. I definitely up the SPF to an SPF of 50. I also take sunscreens that I can touch up with as well. By the way, this is one that will be coming up next week. This one is from Pacifica, and I actually quite like this a lot, so heads up there. But yeah, remember to reapply your SPF. I think that's really important too. But in terms of this one, do I give it 2 thumbs up? I do, but I do think it's a little bit restrictive in terms of the people that can use this in terms of skin tone, right? Like you don't want to have a really dark, deep complexion and use something like this. I just don't think it would look quite right on you. That being said, works on my pasty skin, although I do have to cover it up with makeup, but it provides good protection. It has not made me break out. It doesn't make me look shiny. It stands up to my oil production, and I really enjoy using it. Will I repurchase it? I don't know, probably not necessarily. That being said, I think it's definitely worth checking out because a lot of times you can get this on sale for like between $10 and $15. The regular retail price of this is only $20. So I think it's a good deal no matter what. This is 1 fluid ounce, I believe, 1.01 fluid ounces. So good amount of product, especially if you're getting it for like $11, $12, or $15. I think it's one worth trying if you have a lighter skin tone, but if you are medium or above, skip it altogether. Find something else for sure, because I don't think you're gonna be happy with this. So if you guys have any questions at all about this particular SPF, definitely let me know down below in the comments. Check out the description box. I will find the best sale price on this bad boy right now. And if you want to pick it up, the information will be in the description box below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me know if you have any questions. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.